YouTubers and VW community, welcome back. Today I'm going to remove the steering column, but first we're going to pull the steering wheel off. You can do that with me, and let's see what's wrong with it. All Beetles are relatively the same. Inside there's a bearing, a bushing, a spacer, and I'll show you in a minute here. My steering wheel is moving up and down, left and right, and it's all loose, and I want it to be the best experience when I drive it in the end. I had put all new bushings, all new suspension, everything's new in the front. So I want this thing tight. So let's take a look at it. Let's get the steering wheel off and see what's going on inside so I know what I need to order. And then by the time you see this, the clip will all be merged together anyhow, repair, so come on, let's take a look. So you see what the issue is here. I didn't finish connecting this up from putting the new speedometer cable in yet. But it's all loose, which will make for a bad driving experience. So we're going to take this apart and see what needs fixed, remove the column if we need to. So first, let me lock out a minute. Pull this away like that. Oh man, ow! And you turn this, and I forget which way, so I'm going to turn it gently, just like that. And then this comes off, unplug. It's for your horn, and that's what's in these is springs. Okay, so you have your large nut down inside, which I will take a picture of. My car is a 73, but this column is out of a 74. I have the 73 column here, but it wasn't complete. But you got your large nut down in there. We got to take that off. Let me get a socket here. Okay, I have a 1-inch socket that'll fit mine. Just make sure it fits good. Use a 6-point, don't use a 12-point socket. Important thing here, don't have your steering locked, okay? Because if you do and you crank on this ratchet, you're going to bust this mechanism. Unlock it so it moves nice and free. See how loose that is? Now, when you start to pull on this, if it don't come loose, don't lock it and do that. You're going to break your locking mechanism. You can get a board, put it on the floor, up to hit this to hold it, unless you have somebody to hold it. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Okay. Another important thing here. I'm going to leave it just a couple turns on, and I'm going to pull on the wheel, because if you take the nut off completely and pull it, it's going to hit you right in the teeth. Okay. Now if you have to, use a steering wheel puller, but in my case I didn't have to. Alright, so we're going to have to take these 4 screws out for the turn signal assembly and wiper assembly to come out. Alright, so first I got to get behind the column here and pull the 3 plugs off. And I'll take a picture of that to show you what it is. Okay, you just reach down in and unplug them. There was 2, I don't know why I said 3. And you unplug them right there. Alright, okay, so let's take these screws out. This will pull out. Okay, hold your screws. That's what them plugs plug into. So there you have it. Don't bust this up. Mine was busted when I got it, and I glued it, and it held because once it's in there, it's not an issue. Alright. Wow. I don't know. This looks different than what I'm used to seeing. Let me pull this spacer out. spacers on there pretty snug, although it's greasy, so it's hard to pull out. There we go. And there's a big gap there. It's kind of weird. I'm not used to this kind. Now there's a snap ring there, and I believe that's the bearing. So, okay, we got a snap ring in there. And I don't know if these are going to fit in to grab it. Whoop, almost. Ah, come on. There's the snap ring in there. What I'm going to do is get under the hood and disconnect the shaft and push the shaft up through a little. I want to see if it pushes this bearing out, which I believe it may. So let me do that. Alright, run the trunk here. Got to disconnect the joint from the column. Should have did this while I had it all apart before. And I didn't. I forgot. Now I gotta, that's the best I can get the camera right now. But I'm gonna loosen this 14mm, bolting that up, and don't drop the nut anywhere. Bolt nuts off. Up. Okay. Okay, so I pulled on the shaft and didn't know I didn't have the damn camera turned on. Alright, so this bearing's just flopping around. This bearing can be cleaned up and re-greased. There had to be a bushing on here that's missing. Had to be. Whoops, I thought I had it in camera. I'm sorry, guys. There's the bearing. I can actually clean that bearing up. Okay, so I determined I need a plastic bushing that sits on the bearing, and then I want to pull the column out because I want to see the bottom where the shaft goes in. There's a plastic bushing. So let's take out the steering column. It's very simple. Now remember, I already moved the 3 plugs. It was right in the beginning. I forgot about the ignition. 3 plugs are out, and don't need them in. I disconnected it under the trunk, as you've seen prior to this, and there is 2 6mm Allen heads underneath. But no worries, I'm going to take you underneath with me right now. Okay, I showed you a picture of where the 2 bolts are. They're right up in here. As I showed the photo of where they're at. 6mm Allen head on an extension and a ratchet. Try to do it without putting my head in the way. There we go. Okay, and this should have been down further. There it is. Let's go over to the workbench. The steering column is out of the car. Okay, so that should have been down further because it seals any crap from coming in. That should have been down further. It's okay for right now. There is a bearing right there that looks like total crap. And that's what goes on the other end of this, although it seems fine. But there is a plastic bushing here. Actually seems there's no play in that. It just needs greased up. This is like a roller bearing, is what this is. I'm going to clean that up and try to re-grease it. I want to see what it does, because it actually doesn't seem bad, and I'm not going to pull that all apart if not, because yeah, see, it's not even loose. And it goes on the other end of the steering shaft like that. Nah, it's fine. It just needs cleaned and re-greased. Okay, going to need a plastic bushing. I'll show you a picture right here. And the plastic bushing goes on, and this bearing goes on, and the bushing will take up the space so the steering doesn't shake all over the place. Okay, I'm going to clean this bearing up because there is nothing wrong with it, but it does need cleaned up. There's crap all through it. So I'm going to hit it with some brake clean. And don't go crazy and knock the needle bearings out. Just brush it real easy with a soft brush, maybe a soft toothbrush or something. There was a lot of crud and dirt in there. There we go. Looks like it's all cleaned up now. Just don't hit it hard with the brush. Very gently. Now if yours needs replaced, replace it, but mine's moving real smooth. It just needed cleaned up. So then take it, put it on your shaft. Whoops. I dropped the front top bearing. Make sure it moves smooth. Make sure there's not a bunch of play on it or anything. Put a little grease on it. Some fresh grease. Okay. Remember, this ain't like a wheel bearing that's spinning a million miles an hour. Only as fast as you can turn your hand back and forth. Put some grease on this plastic bushing. Don't be afraid to use some in there. That way, when it sits in there, it'll move nice and smooth. There we go. There we go. And I'll show you what I mean. Put a little grease on the shaft here. Remember, you ain't going to hurt it greasing it up. If anything, you're going to help it. And there's some type of hair on there. I don't have long hair. Must have been my side chick. Alright, let's put the shaft in here and see how it feels. Watch you don't push the bearing out. If you do, just slip it back in. Unlock. It's fighting with me anyhow. There we go. Whoops. There we go. See how I just pushed it too far. See how smooth? Nice and smooth. And see if there's play, which mine don't have it, so I can't show you, but the shaft would move back and forth. So that's fine down there. I just need the bushing for the top. So that's fine. You got to put the bushing on the top. I'm going to clean this bearing out though. Right. Make sure I get it all out of there. I think there was old crap in there. Alright, I like to put grease down inside. Okay, time to put the steering column in. You already got your rubbers on here. Okay, that pushes on like that. I put a little grease around here so it slides in easier. Okay, now this bearing in here is all greased up and ready. Make sure you clean that up good. Alright, this is the crappy part for me all the time, is guiding it in. Pull this back a minute. Let me look underneath here. Let me look underneath at the front. It needs lifted. I'm trying to feel in here so you can feel it's pushing through. And there it is. I'll take a picture and show you what I'm talking about. You want to make sure that rubber sleeve slips in. So it's in there, and you can feel it. It's nice and snug in there now. It doesn't let any air through. Okay, and that larger rubber, you have to slip down. You see a picture, I'll point to what I'm talking about here. And you want it to slide inside. You want them rubbers in place because if not, you're going to get fumes in from the engine compartment. That was dumb, the trunk. And then that's it. Now we got to take the two 6mm Allen heads and put them to hold the column up in. Easiest way to do this is put it on like that. Don't cross thread these. Remember, some things are very hard for me to film, but that's why I take pictures so you can see exactly where I'm at and what I'm doing. Doing the best I can, guys. Here we go. Now I just gotta tighten them up. Okay, steering column's mounted. Excuse me. I'm gonna have to plug the ignition back in a minute. And these two won't go on until the cluster gets put back in. Okay, remember, grease this up really good because that's what that bearing rod's in down there. Okay, take that. Send it down through. Don't be a cowboy. Just put it in. Wow, that's unlocked. Oh. There we go. Just felt it slide. So let me check underneath that here. Okay, you can see the shaft here. Just slide it back up in there. And you see how nice it spins on that bearing in there. Okay, now you should put a new rubber on here. I ordered a new one, but I'll show you how this goes together for right now. I can always come back and pop this on. It's not a big deal. So, got that shaft on. That slot needs to line up where the bolt goes through. So we're going to spin it like that. Whoops, dumbass. Okay. I don't think it's all the way in yet. Grab the shaft here. It's stuck for some reason. Okay. Get your little slots lined up. Okay. Let's turn this a little more so I can put the nut on. I'm going to get a new boot, so I'll pop that back off. And then your boot, this one's all screwed up, will slide over this and it'll cover all of that. But that's it. That's all hooked up. Remember, there's a chamfer in that shaft and it bolt's got to be able to slide through evenly with it. You'll see what I mean when you're doing it. So that is hooked up. Now, of course, got to put the bushing on and then the bearing, and then we'll put the rest back together here. Here we go. The bushing showed up. It is from J-Bugs 111-535D as in David. It's the anti-rattle bushing. I'm sorry, West Coast metric. That's weird. I ordered that from J-Bugs. I just caught that. Okay. That was weird. Okay, so hopefully this 4K camera's doing better. I'll know when I put it up tonight. But so you might notice the first half of the film was on my older camera and the second half here, well, towards the end mostly. All right, here's your bushing, okay? The lip goes in first because it's going to seat against that seat right there on the shaft, okay? But before you do that, let's grease the shaft up a little bit because it does fit pretty tight, so we want it to slide on as easy as possible. So put some grease around it. All right. And we can even put a little grease on the inside of the bushing. All right. Okay, let's see how hard this is to get on. Remember, the lip goes in first. Okay. And my glove's stuck under it. Really? Okay, try again. Wow, does that fit tight? Holy smokes. Wow. How they expect you to get it on there. Okay, well, I know what I'll do then. The bearing on and try to push it against the seat. Now, this is all greased and done, spins real smooth. You want the bearing part to face in, okay? So we're gonna put that over there and push down. Lift that up a little so it seats inside. Wow, that baby's tight, which it's supposed to be. Okay, let me get something to tap it in with. Little punch here, just to tap it in. Get it all the way around. You want it at the seat the whole way. Don't go crazy and smack it like a maniac. You can see it recessing down in. Here, hear it, the hammer get dead? Hear that? I'm sorry guys, I'm left-handed. It's hard for me to not block the camera when I'm doing that. See how the hammer sounds like it got, like bottomed out, like it got dead. What you're doing is you're hitting it around here. Okay? And look at that. That steering wheel is going to be nice and tight. Over an $8 bushing. Okay? You got to put the clip in. There's your snap ring. Okay? Snap ring pliers. These usually not a fun job. Here, let me put them in there first. I need better snap rings. Okay, and what you want to do, let me get a smaller screwdriver. Okay, you want to tap on that snap ring a little bit. Make sure it's seated. I don't like the way it's sitting there. Look at that. That shaft is tight. You're hearing it pulling it out slightly. All right, now we're going to make sure our wheels are straight. Then we're going to remount the, well, we'll do the turn signal cluster next. Got ahead of myself, didn't I? There's a little lip in here. I probably didn't have it all the way in there. Gently. Okay, let me check now. Yeah, much tighter. All right, I'll speed the film up here while I tighten the screws back up. That's it for that. Everything's moving good. Okay. So what we're going to do next is we're going to make sure your wheels are straight and true before you put your steering wheel on. Okay. But they look straight to me. Okay. So, whoop, I bumped you there. Make the steering wheel straight as you can. Just jiggle it a little bit. Let me back the camera up a minute here. There we go. You guys are in a better position now, huh? All right. Yeah, it's pretty straight. Okay. Don't forget your washer. It's a slight curved washer. Seems Volkswagen likes to use them. This is a pain to get the dang washer in there because you're reaching through here. Got it. There's your nut. Okay. You drop it first. Always drop it once. Oh, it is tough to get my hands in there. Should have had my wife come up and get it started with her little fingers. Okay, I spin it on with my fingers first. Remember, don't lock your ignition tightening this. You don't want to break that. I unlock it just so that don't happen. Okay, and ratchet in your socket. On mine, I can use a 1-inch. Okay, ratchet on there, hold it real good. I should have used a shorter extension. There we go. Okay, Now, if you're having trouble and you want to get it tighter, like I say, get a 2x4, put it under here, not on the plastic part, on the steering wheel part. Put it to the floor, okay? Or you can have somebody hold the wheel, which is convenient as long as they don't let go. Check it one more time. There we go. Okay, don't forget to plug your horn in case you want to get aggressive with people on the road. Beetle horn's pretty aggressive, scares people, you know. Plug your wire into there. Come on, get in there. There we go. Okay, see this on the back here? It's going to go in and turn. And these springs grab these little, I don't know what they're called actually, and you're pushing it on, snaps onto them. Take that, turn it. Sometimes you got to lift these springs a little if they're catching. You don't want to break them, okay? Line up your springs. Oop. Give it a little glove tap. Make sure the springs are centered over them. Okay, then you've got your really aggressive Beetle horn. People will run like hell when they hear this. So, we got that all done. Remember, I'm filming in 4K with this part, you know, what we just did. Let me know if there's a difference from you guys. You know, is it better? Is it more clear? It should be. I just picked the camera up yesterday. This is what you need to do. If your steering column is a little bit loose, like I showed you in the beginning, yeah, you need to do this. It's a simple fix. If you follow what I did, it's not hard. I only seen one YouTube clip and it was on an old Gia. So now remember, the standards and the supers, they're all the same with a lot of this stuff. They're all the same. So don't panic and go, well, I don't have a super. It don't matter. They're all pretty much the same that way. So remember, on that bushing, the lip goes down in. And then the bearing, face the ball bearings down in. You want the clean side facing up so a bunch of dirt don't get inside of there. Okay, so that's it, guys, ladies. Thank you for being here. Let me know. Give me a thumbs up. Leave a comment. You know, share this. A lot of people need this video, no matter what. They really do, because I didn't see nothing on YouTube this extreme to show you exactly what to do. And everybody's steering wheel gets up getting loose on these over a piece of plastic. If the bearing needs replaced, replace it. It's like 40 bucks. Mine was good. A little bit of brake clean in there, cleaned the ball bearings out, re-greased it, put it on your thumb where it'll fit tight so you can spin it and see how it feels. But they're usually pretty good. You're only turning the wheel this fast. It ain't wheel spinning really quick, you know what I mean? So thanks for being here. Please share this video. Get it out there so people can see what to do to get the steering column out. One more thing I didn't show you, and I can't put it together yet because I'm doing some wiring work. Don't forget to plug them 2 little wires back in like you see here and get it plugged in to the back. It goes to your wiper and your turn signal. But I didn't want to plug them in yet. But okay, thanks. I appreciate you guys being here. Talk to you soon.